Big ideas start with a spark. At Tassi's, we use that spark to ignite the fire in ourselves and our kids. So with the trust we build and the knowledge we share, we can grow together and stand tall, creating opportunities to advance in business while setting an example for the next generation. Whether you are starting fresh in Portugal or expanding globally, we're here to support each other. This is more than a network. We are a community that sets the examples for the leaders of tomorrow.
Hi, thank you so much for joining me. So I want to talk a little bit about mental health and how it is impacting not only students but also people in like the workforce and your idea of the scarcity.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you think about mental health, we always forget that we're actually just kind of like cavemen and cavewomen still walking around. So we have these prehistoric brains and bodies and the needs and the setup for it. But then we are working with godlike technology. And a lot of the things that have been built with like hundreds of millions of dollars of input to kind of like grab our attention are what we call in psychology super stimuli, which means that we have no natural defense against it. It's like because it was never meant to be, right? It's this technology advancement. So when you think about us as humans being scarcity experts, we need to kind of artificially do that by kind of like managing our environment so that we're not exposed to these things all the time, which doesn't take the cognitive load of making decisions against it. So do you have social media? Okay, and you're going to work on something, you have a boring homework, all right? Let's say history, for lack of something better, right? And you have to do your essay. Sorry, whoever the teacher is. And then you go on your Instagram because you get a notification. The feeling of dread from stopping your feet to go back to the lesson, right? That is practically you forcing your brain away from the super stimuli to something that is much, much less attractive, right? The problem with that is that happens, our baseline of what is attractive goes higher and our mood goes lower, which means we need more and more input. So at one point, we're just unhappy, overweight, tired individuals that are disconnected from our reality and from our peers.
And I think it's definitely evident in like all students, but especially people like myself that have ADHD. It's incredibly the addictive dopamine levels of wanting something. And you were talking about like scarcity. It's like the idea of wanting something that you can't have. And when you know that you have to be doing your history homework and you have TikTok next to you, you want what you can't have, which is the TikTok. So how do you think students like myself can go about navigating this other than just the simple delete everything? Because I think that's not a sustainable way of going through life.
Yeah. Well, for example, hacks that you would say, okay, I'm going to take TikTok off of my phone and put it on the family iPad, right? And the family iPad, look, you're like, that ain't not going to happen over my dead body.
We'll see. I'll see where we're going.
So it's like in the living room on the family iPad, like you can put your password there or whatever. That means that it's not readily available and you will have to pass the threshold to get there. And the probability that you stay and remain there is much lower.
Do you think those apps work? The ones that take you and say, do you still want to do it? And take the time?
No.
No.
So I had that for Instagram. I had 30 minutes count for Instagram. And I am a psychologist. This is my bread and butter. This is what I am going around talking to schools about. And I was on the morning before big talk at IPS, I think it was, scrolling. And like, I need to get ready. I need to get ready. I need to get ready. 20 minutes passed, 30 minutes passed. Would you like to stop? No, another 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, if I can't do it, how's a 12-year-old supposed to be able to do that, right? So I had to take Instagram off my phone. Now let's say it's absolutely no-go. You're not going to take TikTok off. Then try to make it as unpleasurable as possible. Put it on grayscale. Take off the infinite scrolling. Mute your notifications so that it is more of a choice that you use it when you want to use it and not because it's compelling you through notifications or pop-ups.
And do you think that, like recently in Australia, they banned social media under 16? Do you think that will help students and teenagers self-regulate better when they do get it? Or do you think it'll be that idea of, I want it, and now that I have it, and it's so overwhelming, they don't know how to control it, and they get it, and they start using it, and they don't know how to self-regulate?
Yeah, so that is exactly the problem. You can't just take something away and put restrictions on it and then go at one point, because usually there's going to be a dip in usage or addictive behaviors, maybe not proper addiction. So you always have to kind of put psychoeducation into the mix and digital literacy. So tell them, what is attention economy? Why does it work the way it was? What is dopamine? What kind of a neurotransmitter is it? How can you regulate yourself? And then exercise it incrementally. So once you hit 16, don't just give them the phone and say, okay, now you're a victim of TikTok. Say, okay, now you have half an hour a day. Then when you're 17, it's an hour. And then when you're 18, you hopefully have gradually learned and you're informed to make better choices most of the time.
And for teenagers that say, well, everyone has it, why can't I? Do you think that the way AI is going, do you think there's going to be a pull away from parents, like my parents who waited to let me have my phone even though my older brothers had it, and waited until I was of age to have social media and a phone? Do you think that because AI is going to be more prevalent in even like adults' lives, that they'll pull away from that and start giving their technology to their kids at earlier ages?
So I see two things happening here. And the first one is there's going to be a big class divide. So you're going to have the educated parents with the means to teach their kids about AI and to help them use prompts that support their innate talents. And these kids are going to use AI, and their knowledge is going to soar. The relevance that they put to what they're learning, their skills and talents is going to soar. And then you're going to have the parents who don't have access to that information that will just go like, okay, go use AI. Everybody's doing it, or they just don't know what to say. And their kids are going to be less cognitively, what's it called?
Mature.
Yes, exactly. And because it's load snatching, right? It takes away the thinking process. And so these class divides is going to go on and on and on and on. And then you add that, when you think about smartphones, social media, and everything, that is the attention economy, right? So that's our attention. AI is going for our attachment. So trying to make us use it more through attachment to the AI. And I think that's a whole nother level of threat that we haven't even begun to anticipate, because attachment is a core human necessity. And when that's taken away, you have severe mental illness. So
And how does your app play a role in this?
So when we did it originally, it was 2016, we said, all the kids are on their smartphones. This was before I even knew it was a problem. I was like, everybody has a smartphone, so let's offer it there where everybody is, right? And it's better that they're using my app than if they're like playing games or Fortnite or something on their smartphone. And it practically uses the know-how of the gaming industry, which is psychologically 20, 30 years ahead of psychologists, right? Because they want to make money with it. And use it in a safe and risk-free way as the vehicle for the intervention. So not top down like you do an exercise, CBT exercise, and then you get a badge. No, it's an actual game, and in the game you learn the psychological skills. And we were able to show that it significantly lowered depression, anxiety, and boosted resilience. So it was working. The problem was that I saw in the real-time data over hundreds of thousands of students in the UK, so that was the most, and then in Sri Lanka and in Indonesia, that the top 3 issues that these young people were struggling with were all sleep-related. And we saw in their data that they're on their phones, 12-year-olds at 2 a.m. playing the game and filling out the questionnaire, and 14-year-olds at 1 a.m., at 6 a.m. What are they doing? It's all sleep-deprived because parents don't know that their kids are up at night on their phones. So that made me practically step away from iPhones as a platform, which kind of leaves me here going, well, is someone hiring?
Well, times change, and you have to adapt to it, right? And we're always learning. What would you say, I guess is my last question, if you could give advice to all students, parents, teachers, what would it be in terms of prioritizing mental health while also balancing things like education, work, trying to be successful in life? And how do you think AI in the future is going to be incorporated in that?
Well, I think we could say, if you use AI to enhance your innate talents, challenge you, make you grow, support you where you need it, then you will be the best version of yourself, and that is a wonderful thing. So taking AI as an opportunity not to let it do the work for you, but to make you do the work more efficiently. That's the golden, because at the end of the day, you're going to maybe have your psychology degree or your law degree or something in 5 years and they say, no, there's no jobs, but you'll be doing something completely different. And when you're living your talents, then you're probably, do you have knock on wood, going to have a job then because you're passionate and good at something that is uniquely you.
Great. Thank you so much.